Hello everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to Wanna Know More. I'm ready to hate this game even more than I already did previously, so let's just jump into it. Without asking any questions, I grabbed my katana, essentially unused since I came to Hatsu and followed Kana. She led me a short distance into the forest, near where her brothers and I first began laying traps. Kana looked around anxiously on guard as she turned her head back and forth, searching for the danger she hadn't yet warned me about. Even without Kana saying anything, I can guess why I'm here. The large trap Araki made is gone, and there's a lot of blood where it once sat. Far more blood than I'd expect from a rabbit or a fox. Going by the bloody footprints, my guess is that someone stepped in the trap. The only question is, was it one of the boys, or...
There he is!
What? This looks like me, but a weird version of me. A short walk away from where the trap had been set, a wounded samurai sat on the ground, nursing his leg. Oof. That is fucked body proportions right there, folks. God, what am I looking at? I'm looking at a mess, that's what I'm looking at. And no, I'm not looking in the mirror when I say that. I could clearly see a large puncture wound where the trap had pierced him, and going by the dried blood surrounding the wound, I surmised that he had walked into the trap during the night.
Well, what have we here?
I removed my katana from its sheath and placed the blade against the fallen samurai's throat. Surprisingly, he didn't put up any resistance or draw his own weapon. Instead, the seated man stared at me in shock, as though he had seen a ghost.
Captain Nabatame?
The fuck is with that voice? That voice does not fit that character whatsoever. That is a female trying to sound like a male, but the problem with that is that it sounds like a young boy. But you can clearly see that this man has way past puberty.
Sir! Is that really you?
Oh god, I'm gonna hate this character. I already hate this character. Sir, is that really you? See, I'm trying my male voice, and I feel like that might sound better than whatever the fuck came out of that guy's mouth. Although I didn't recognize the man. Oh, that man is very questionable right now. For me, he seemed to know exactly who I was. Unfortunately, the dominant expression on his face was surprise, not fear or joy, so I couldn't be certain if he was once an ally or an enemy.
I may not be the captain of the Kodokushi anymore, but I am indeed Koichiro Nabatame. State your name and business.
You missed your in there.
Oh, yes, sir. My apologies.
Oh, yes, sir. My apologies. I feel like that sounds way better. God.
My name is Reise Sadayori, and I'm here on official business from the Mirai Kingdom.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Can I turn off your voice? Shut the fuck up. You sound like a girl. You are a girl. You're a girl trying to voice a guy, but the problem with that is that this is an older male, but you're making it sound like a young man. Like not even a young man, a boy. You're making it sound like a boy.
Nabatame-sama, we received a report from a foreign trader that there was an undocumented village here, next to a forest full of life.
Can you shut the fuck up? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I was sent to verify the claims and...
Shut the fuck up.
Slow down. Who do you mean by we, exactly? Who sent you?
Yeah, and why do you sound like a girl?
Well, it was indirect, but... I suppose you could say it was the Kodokushi, sir.
Shut the fuck up. The Kodokushi. They must have pawned off the job when they realized it was a village they already burned down last year. No point in scouting a village they already decimated after all.
Sir, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but my leg.
Shut the fuck up!
All right, I understand.
We'll cut it off. I sheathed my sword and approached Rezai. I don't even care.
I will help you, but you have to do something for me too.
As in, shut the fuck up!
Yes, of course, sir. It would be an honor.
Go through puberty.
I'm glad you feel that way. First, you're going to hand me your katana and wakizashi. I can't have you wandering around here while you're carrying weapons. Second, you're going to report to the Kodokushi that you found a burned down, uninhabited village next to the forest, and that the forest itself contains nothing of value. Do you understand?
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Do you? Kana and I walked away from the samurai, taking his weapons with us. His? Hers. Once we were out of earshot, Kana looked back at Rezai, then faced me with a complicated expression on her face.
What is it, Kana?
No. It's nothing important.
She's gonna say that samurai sounds like a girl.
I just...
Kana tightly hugged the two sheathed blades.
Are we really going to help him?
Oh.
I thought you were gonna ask if it was a girl. It's a girl, don't worry.
Why wouldn't we? You heard him. That man is a scout. He isn't here to harm us.
She isn't here.
I know that, but... there you two are.
Do they only have two voice actors? No, there's only probably like 3 voice actors for this game. Or something, I don't know. While Kana fumbled to find the right words, Chio finally caught up to us.
Jeez, Kana-chan, you really surprised me there. I knew Ko was fast, but I never expected that kind of agility from you. I guess it's because I'm always chasing after my little brothers.
Kana forced herself to laugh for Chio's benefit, but her worry overshadowed any false joy.
Kana-chan, what's going on? Why did you need Ko? And...
Chio's gaze drifted down to the two sheathed blades and cradled Kana's arms.
I'll explain later. Kana, get a bucket and fill it with water. Chio, grab enough cloth to bind a person's leg many times over. Make it quick, and meet me back here when you're done.
Without argument, Kana and Chio did what I asked of them. They then handed over the supplies I needed and hung back as I approached Rizai once more. I used the water to clean his leg, washing out splinters from the puncture wound as I removed any obstructions I found. I then bound his leg with the cloth Chio gave me in order to stop the bleeding, and finally sent Rizai off after reminding him of our deal.
is it really alright to just let him go like that?
Her.
Kana-chan told me about your deal, but even so, how do you know he will honor it?
With Rizai no longer in sight, Kana picked up the bucket and remaining cloth, then headed back to the village. Chio, however, was not convinced by what she had heard and seen, and showed no sign of returning just yet.
The simple answer is I don't. Reize might tell the Kodokushi the truth the second he returns, sparking a manhunt akin to my escape from last year.
If you know that, then how could you let him go?
Her go.
You're supposed to be this village's leader. How could you knowingly endanger everyone like that?
Chio shouted at me angrily, obviously not approving of my actions, and I couldn't blame her. To Chio, a young girl cut off from greater society and her arm cut off, or her hand cut off, my actions may indeed have seemed like those of a traitor. Even so, my actions were not without reason.
Chio, what do you think would happen if I killed Reize?
What do I think?
Yes, if I killed that scout, what difference do you think it would have made?
Isn't it obvious? That samurai wouldn't be able to report that he found you. Or our village. We'd be safe.
No, he wouldn't. I shook my head at Chio's naive conclusion.
Chio, when a scout goes missing, they aren't simply forgotten. If you sent Kana into the forest and she never came back, where is the first place you would look for her?
In the forest.
Exactly. That isn't to say that you were wrong, Chio. Reize may indeed tell the Kodokushi where I am, but this way, there's still a chance that he'll honor our deal.
Chill.
And that's far better than guaranteed destruction at the hands of his comrades.
Her comrades.
I see. So even if the odds aren't in our favor, at least this way there's still a glimmer of hope.
Correct, but there's more to it than that. I know it may not seem like much considering what's on the line, but even so, life is precious, Chio, and preserving life is something you should never feel bad about.
Ah. Life lessons all around. 1 week later. 1 week later. Okay. 10 minutes already, damn. In the week that followed Raizai's appearance, Hatsu village underwent many changes. First and foremost, all repairs were put on hold as were any plans to create new rabbit traps. All new traps were closer in size to Araki's trap, the one that nailed Raizai, and we branched out into other traps not suitable for hunting small animals. We experimented with pitfalls, used string as tripwire near beds of rock, and even trimmed back some of the bushes and trees to make several areas of the forest look almost identical. After that, I began coordinating evacuation exercises in which Kana would lead the other villagers to the underground spring that Chio found. The children would help the elderly to escape quickly, and we soon marked out an appropriate route to the spring. While the villagers were fleeing, Chio and I would climb up our lumber stockpile onto the roof of a house near the edge of the town. From there we could see anyone approaching from many miles away, allowing us to take the best course of action so as not to be seen. Although we kept watch every day, I had already informed Chio and the others of how long it would take before we needed to keep our eyes peeled. By horse, we were only a day or two away from Mirai. By foot, a direct route would easily take 1 week at the bare minimum. So given that Razai had left on foot and the Kodokushi would travel by horse, we still had another few days before the worst case scenario could play out. Even if Razai immediately informed the Kodokushi and they immobilized that very instant, we could still afford to skip watchman duty for the time being.
Still nothing. I know I should feel relieved by the lack of action, but no matter how much time we spend up here, I can't help but feel anxious.
Chio held herself with her good arm, making no attempt to hide her feelings.
That is nothing to be ashamed of. Anxiety keeps you alert. For someone who is potentially being hunted, it could mean the difference between life and death.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Why is her microphone volume so much louder than his? I mean, his audio.
Was it like this for you when you were working for them? I know you don't like to talk about it, but right now
I know. At this moment, I don't have the freedom to keep secret any information pertaining to the Kodokushi. Truthfully, I can't say I ever felt that kind of anxiety. Rather, I was excited by the thought that a strong opponent might seek me out. The only part of my job that made me feel like you do now was preparing for situations just like this.
As much as I tried to mask my own feelings, Hatsu Village's current situation was one I was already familiar with. Belonging to the Kodokushi, I was among those who sought to destroy villages like this, storming in and killing without hesitation. So although my situation had been reversed, I knew all too well how the assault would take place, and experience was not needed to predict the outcome.
Wrecking villages, slaying innocent people, torching corpses. Whenever we came across a village like this, I feared the worst, praying that my assignment wouldn't end in such a manner. But no matter how much I wished for a peaceful resolution, my fears always proved to be justified. Even if we didn't slaughter the entire village, our presence still ruined the lives of those we found. We took in slaves, stole horses, depleted the villagers' food supplies. As soon as we stepped outside of Mirai, we became villains.
Yay! Chio watched me silently as I told her about my past. Although we had been together for well over a year, I had never told Chio about the things I'd done, or explained how I was as bad as the people hunting me. Unfortunately, as the Kodokushi threatened to make a second appearance in Hatsu Village, I had little choice. Even if Chio hates me for the things I've done, our survival is my top priority. Forgetting my past is a luxury I cannot afford anymore. What's important is that I convey my knowledge of how they operate. As a former captain of the Kotokushi, I know their tactics well. If anyone has a chance of fending them off, it's me.
We would usually strike at our whim. But if we had reason to believe that the village contained combatants, our strategy differed. First, we would send a scout, unarmed, into the village. They would pretend to be a traveler or merchant and gather information for us. Next, we'd use that information to enter the village discreetly, avoiding any watched areas of the village, usually at daybreak. Finally, we'd start by setting alight the houses of the strongest members of the village, then proceed to slaughter everyone indiscriminately.
Even as I finally finished, Chio did not say a word. She looked at me with a worried expression on her face, as though torn between anxiety and fear. Chio did not approach me either, nor did she show any sign of speaking her thoughts. I should have known this would happen. It's one thing to call yourself a samurai, but it's another to listen to a tale of government-sanctioned evil. I can only imagine what Chio must think of me now. As the man responsible for her parents' deaths, for destroying her life, my only redeeming feature was that I was the lesser of two evils. Now that Chio knows the truth...
I see. So that's why you don't like to talk about your old job.
Chio finally opened her mouth, barely managing to squeeze out those two sentences. But even as she spoke, her expression did not change. Whatever chord I had struck with Chio, she did not know how to react, and for my part, I wasn't sure where to go from there.
Yes, that was my old life. Please, whatever you think of me right now, keep it to yourself until this time of desperation has passed. If we're to be attacked...
Yeah, I understand. I'll tell the others about the Kotokushi's tactics, but the rest, I'll leave out.
Without another word, Chio climbed down from the roof, jumping onto the same pile of lumber we used to climb up. She hung her head as she walked, not once looking back at me or showing the slightest glimpse of her usual self. As I feared, the truth completely shattered the image she had of me, which I worked long and hard to cultivate. A full year of bonding gone, just like that. Once the Kotokushi have come and gone, and assuming they do come, this life Chio and I have been leading together may finally be over. Chio will out me, and I will be forced to move on, leaving this village in the hands of those left behind. That might not be so bad, as I and Araki can take over most of my duties, and there are no dangers in this village which call for samurai's strength. I'll be sad to go, of course, but from the beginning I only stayed here in order to look after Chio. Now that she has Kana and the others, Chio may be better off without me. Maybe. Ah, there's someone at the door. 3 days later! Oh, no! Oh, God. God. Too many loud noises. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode of Wander No More. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this and would like to see more of this game, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye-bye!